So today we're in Enfield in London to find out how traditional crumpets are made. And for those of you who don't know, crumpets are a very British thing. They are similar to toast, similar to pancakes, similar to bread, but they're neither bread, neither pancakes. So today we're at Warburton's, which is UK's largest crumpet producer. Imagine, in Enfield alone, they make 36,000 crumpets per hour. British crumpets. So what are they exactly, and how did they become so popular within British cuisine? It is said that crumpets originated in the Anglo-Saxon period during 410 and 1066, and they were originally known as pikelets. They were small, hard, oval-shaped biscuits cooked on a griddle and had a pancake-like appearance. During the Victorian era, the recipe was altered to include yeast and bicarbonate soda to give them a soft, spongy look. What about its name? Its origins are unclear, but there are a few suggestions saying it may have come from a 14th century reference to a crumpet cake, which was a crumpled and curled up cake, and the Old English word crumpet, which also means crumpled.
Warburton's is a business. We were founded back in 1876 in Bolton, and over the last 140 years we have grown and grown from a local business to a regional business to now a national business to be the #1 bread brand in the UK. Within British culture, the crumpets played a really important part because it is a staple of a British diet effectively. We see it traditionally over the years. It's always been a breakfast accompaniment, so rather than toast people would have crumpets with jam, but we've seen that evolve as well, and over the years people now are starting eating crumpets with ham and cheese on top, and it's become more of a meal accompaniment. So the process of actually making a crumpet is quite complicated and technical, but very simple in its approach. So we take our raw material, so flour, water, yeast, a little bit of brine. But what we then do is we need to activate the yeast. So the mixing process will generate a bit of heat and start to get the batter warming up to around 40 degrees. At that point, the yeast starts to activate. And part of that process is that the yeast will start to consume the sugars that are present in flour. And as they're consuming the sugar, they're actually, as a byproduct, releasing carbon dioxide. That's the magic. We then take that and deposit it onto a hot plate. So the hot plate runs at about 200 degrees, and we deposit fixed amounts of batter into the rings. As the batter hits the hot plate, it will set the base of the crumpet. But as the heat then starts to go through the base, it starts to heat the water and boil the water, and the water turns to steam. And as the water and the crumpet and the heat's going through the batter, we're actually expanding the CO2 bubbles. So what happens then is as the bubbles expand and the steam is looking for the easiest way out, it's pushing the CO2 up through the batter. As that comes through the batter, it's actually setting the walls of the hole. So when the gas is released, that's how we form the holes in a crumpet.
The surfaces of the crumpets are then toasted for around 20 seconds to give them the finishing touch. What you may find interesting is that the crumpet doesn't need to be toasted at all, as Warburton's told us that it's solely for aesthetics, as the crumpets are already cooked. Once toasted, the crumpets then go on to be cooled in 3 separate rooms, each with varying temperatures. First starting at 18 degrees Celsius, 15 degrees and then 10 degrees. After being cooled, a system scans the crumpets, inspecting each one for their color, porosity and consistency in shape. The crumpets highlighted in this green border signify that they are good and ready for packaging. This row here, without the green border, this means that they're not quite up to the standards for Warburton's, so they're taken off the line. These custom-made robotics are capable of picking up 86 crumpets a minute, sending each one onto the final stage of the process, packaging. So we got a packet of crumpets straight off the line. I'm actually very excited about this because despite having lived in the UK for more than 7 years now, I've actually never had a crumpet in my life. I know it's a disgrace, so I'm gonna make up for it and give it a try. It's nice. I love how it's very crusty in here. Like the bottom has a very strong and solid crust, and the top is like spongy, soft. I would say you almost get two flavors. You get the savory crust of the bottom side, and then like a more sweet taste of the spongy top side. It's very nice. I love how the butter is like completely disappeared into the holes, which means that when you bite into it, you actually get the buttery taste in there. The texture it's nice and spongy. It's cakey, and yeah, it's just a nice discovery for me. I wish I had known about crumpets before. Like, where were my British friends when I needed them? Guys, I had to know about this 7 years ago.
From a production perspective, when I look at crumpet plants, we've got 3 crumpet plants, and on average we produce 36,000 crumpets an hour, which equates to about 6,000 packets of 6-pack crumpets. So when you look across a week, that's equivalent to about 800,000 packets coming out of our Enfield site alone every week. So in order to make 800,000 packets of crumpets a year, we have to have a shift pattern that's robust enough to facilitate that, and we run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have four shifts that operate 12-hour shifts across the 7 days of the week. We only shut as a business on Christmas Day. So we are actually producing products 364 days of the year to make sure that our customers always get what they want.